Hey, welcome back everyone, and welcome to our first in a series that I'm not going to exactly say the number, but our first in our study group series. Matt, Nolan, thanks so much for being with us again, and David Fisher.
Hello guys. I'm sure you've seen me before here. I'm around a lot in this place.
Yes, we're all here. What we are here to do today is introduce, like, officially, for those of you who watch our Deccan videos, because that's all I have on this channel, but watch any of the three of our channels, which we might post this video to any of the three of our channels, so you might be seeing this kind of on a multitude of channels. What we're here today to do is officially introduce the study book club that we are launching. Yes, at the solstice, so the 22nd. So it'll be, yeah, exactly. It'll be Wednesday, June 22nd at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 1 hour later than what we plan on meeting weekly. And you can see all of the details, including 2 different types of very meticulously outlined dates and times and topics. You can find that all on Patreon. So you're going to get the full list of times, dates, and everything as a projection forward into the future, so you can categorize it in your mind. But we wanted to invite you there officially and let you know a little bit about the project. So we won't bog you down with the details. You can find those over on Patreon. You can get a full PDF download of the details of the study group as far as planning goes. But today we just wanted to introduce the idea, what it is, what we plan on doing, and why we're excited about it. So we will be covering George's Ancient Astrology Volume 2, which a lot of us were highly anticipating. And we decided, since we knew we would be together going over all the exercises, going over all the chapters, freaking out like fangirls on Demetra, as well as just like staying inspired to be thorough with the material, we knew that we'd be talking to each other a lot about it anyway. So we decided to be inclusive and maybe just like a little bit more public with it, and invite you all to come along on the journey with us. So no matter when you're finding this, we are starting on the 22nd of June, 2022, but we will be going for a little, like a year or so. So
year and a half about.
Yeah, and year and a half. And so you can find us at any time on Patreon and join us at any time, even if you've read the book all the way through. Because we are, like, I've already, like, some of us are just going to consume the book the second it gets there. But this is just like a timely companion process. Some of you might want to be that meticulous the whole way through, and some of you might be coming back for more. So really, it'll be a free flow to join whenever you want, and you'll be able to see the schedule. So if you wanted to join later and just catch up at a certain part or topic of the book, you can access it that way as well. So yeah, we're just going to go chapter by chapter, discuss and do the exercises together, and then we're going to do little companion videos here on YouTube to kind of let you know where we are, tell you a little bit about the chapters, and going on a deep dive in the study group Patreon. So that being said, we will be starting with a couple of chapters, even for our first meeting.
Yeah, it's kind of a big reading assignment right off the bat, because it's a lot of stuff that is kind of more or less easy. So we're going to be starting with the first 2 chapters of the book, which are chapter 61, Down to Earth, and chapter 62, Classifications of the Houses. So it's about 45 pages, and it's basically what are the houses, how do they come about, what's some of the history, different types of house division, and then different things like angularity, planetary joys, the houses as they represent different ages. So you get like the ascendant being the first part of life, the midheaven the middle part, and so on. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. And then in the next couple of months, we're going to be talking about like each of the 12 houses and just going all the way through the book, usually at a rate of about 2 to 3 chapters per month.
Yeah, per month. And some weeks will be a little bit more of a workload, and some will be less, or some months, I'm sorry, will be a little bit more of a workload and some less, just because we want to make it long enough where we can do a good treatment, but not too long where it's an overwhelming period of time for everyone to commit to. So I just want to say, like, standard stuff, right? Chapter 61 and chapter 62, it is standard, but obviously we could spend our whole lives talking about the houses and the planetary joys and all of those things. So as much as we'd love to like make it very thorough, I think there's only so much we can do, even doing monthly meetings and doing a lot of reading together too. So we'll learn a lot from it, but it's not like we're going to be doing these like 4-hour lectures on the planetary joys and the houses and all those things.
And we could. Like this isn't like a class necessarily. Like we're not going to be sitting here lecturing to you. It's going to be more of a discussion group and like a group thing. So the reason that we really wanted to do it is we met, the three of us, at a study group that was kind of an offshoot of Chris Brennan's course, and it's just been the most amazing learning experience. It's accelerated our progress as astrologers, just like unbelievably. We've made these beautiful friendships with all these people, and just totally enriched the experience. You know, it can get really dry. We were talking before this, before we were recording, it can be so dry with like, this is like a textbook. And if you just like
daunting, even if it's like you are excited and you want to learn it, just like the idea of like all these ancient authors and sources and all these books that you buy because you're so excited to read all the things, or sometimes you don't have resources for the book. That's another reason why I wanted to do this, is like giving people like a little bit of an experience online, what it might be like to get the book, which is these like free companion videos like on YouTube, so that you can kind of understand how the book is laid out and like what people are doing with it. And then if you are inspired to want to get it, like that was the idea between the book club too, is like do a little bit on YouTube to see if you guys would, you know, if it would be worth it for you to like purchase the books out of the 10 that you want to get. And then also staying inspired and not overwhelmed with just the bigness of the whole project of becoming an astrologer and reading charts. You hit all these like beautiful internal and external landscapes that are just so much richer shared amongst ourselves and
social beings. And so we liked when knowledge grows when it's shared in that way. Mercury tells us about that. You know, when you go back and forth with someone in a debate about an idea, you actually discover a new way of looking at it, and thus you broaden your perspective around that particular topic, giving you more tools to better define it for yourself and within your experience. So this is how we play off of each other. And so I've grown so much with Matt in different ways. I've grown with ELSA throughout the years. And I can see parts of their perspectives and my interpretation of charts now. And I honor that in my head. You know, you get, when you get these group learning experiences, you don't get just the knowledge. You get the feeling that a person that taught you that particular knowledge gave to you, you know? So it's like remembering people. And that's why learning together, it's easier. It makes it easier because you just remember people you connect with, that you love, that you're more like, and that you get like a routine with. You can recall that feeling of being in the group, and it will better your recollection upon the topics that you study together as well.
Yeah, and like the language itself, like it gets you comfortable speaking the language of astrology because you can do it in your head all day, but then to be able to speak, you know, like the detriment and the house and the aspect, and just learning how to like use your literal voice and the language to convey it to another person is super valuable when you're starting to think about doing clients or even friends, just getting comfortable speaking the language with other people. And I know, obviously, I mean, I don't need to say it to you all again, but just for the viewer, I've learned so much and become such a better astrologer because I've had a friendship with David and with Matt as well. Just, again, you hear their voices in your head and you think, how would they interpret it? Here's how I interpret it, and how would they interpret it? And how would my, you know, you get that kind of mirror, and again, those challenges and much easier associations, David, I'd say as well, because you remember reading the part of the book and discussing it with you, for instance, you know?
Yeah, and on top of that, it just like keeps you motivated. Like you see people coming in and learning all these different things, like David with the Schmidt material that he's been so into that I haven't listened to a ton of, but I see David coming with something new every week, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And like, I need to learn about this too. And it keeps me sort of coming back.
You're muted, sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute. And yeah, the cool thing about also exchanging ideas, not only you learn other perspectives, but the astrology is such a vast field of study. Like you can have so many perspectives from so many different parts of the world that have developed their own way of looking at it. And so when you meet new people, you open up to having experiences with those particular ways of practicing something that is close to people's hearts. Throughout history, people that have practiced astrology dedicate their lives to it, and it's their all,
Yes.
basically, and they interact with people in a deeper level. They see reality of people in a different level, and having that as a group kind of really broadens your perspective of life and the world and you as a human being. So I can't tell you enough how important for my personal development these groups have been, not only professionally, but also as a person.
Yeah, and speaking of like, gurus and teachers and Schmidt, like David and I have been geeking out on Schmidt forever. And it's what I mean about that is like the Schmidt work that's been available has been like audio recordings. And so you're getting like this download from the guru in this way that it can't be written. It can only be spoken in, or it can only be engaged in that way, where that's where some of the living like juice comes from in a certain way. Like you can get a lot through that kind of like living language, and that kind of like being passed through the guru. It just makes me think of in Buddhism, they talk about the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the Buddha would be like the guru, right? The teacher. And the Dharma would be like the path, the path of astrology that we're on, that we're like called to. And the Sangha is like the people that are also on the path. And how those three jewels are what make up like this experience or potentiality of, logos or enlightenment, or just kind of like the motivation or something. They talk about the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And that's what it feels like here with adding this piece. It really makes it complete, I think. So I'm very excited. I'm personally very excited. And thank you. And thank you all for being here with us. And thank you too for wanting to do this. So I think that's that's basically what it is. That's our intention. All the brass tacks are over on Patreon. Thank you, Demetra, for writing the most amazing, thorough, compassionate, just beautifully constructed and written. Like, you guys, freaking the back of this book, like, she's just so thorough. She's so good. Like, I just want to praise this book. And that's what this whole study group is really about, is just like praising these like living legends and these gurus, and like just allowing it to come to life in our lives. So thank you both.
I want to mention also that Matt and I are going to do a second Sunday of the month meeting, because we thought that we would also bring up examples to you guys. You guys could bring your own examples. So it would be more of a practical session that we would have, Matt and I, with you all. So go over there. Forgetting that, you would get like the main meeting in 1 week, obviously, because then you would practice what we've talked about in the next meeting of the second Sunday. So last Wednesdays of the month, most likely, if
yep, that's right.
If that stands, we are going to be doing the meetings with the discussions of the topics, and then the practical runs on the second Sundays in the following month.
I'm so happy you reminded me to mention that. So like basically there's going to be runoff. We are doing the last Wednesday of the month, give or take, the last Wednesday of the month, with wiggle room on either side. But I think we did really well with the schedule. It's pretty much on those last Wednesdays of the month. So you can keep that in mind. It's going to be an evening session. They're going to be about 2 hours long. And then we knew that there's going to be way more people that wanted to practice more, look at example charts, go over it a little bit more. It's not tutoring, but it's a practicum, group study practicum, charts, examples.
Yeah.
We thought it would be too cramped to do it all in one session. So we wanted to have people relaxed. Like next time I can bring up examples and do all of that, like sharing screen, showing how the chart progresses, and we'll open up spaces for people doing those presentations if they so choose. We're also going to bring examples of our own. But the idea is that you will engage with that so you can practice by yourself, so you can learn.
Yeah. And I do want to join for that. And I will be probably once winter hits or towards the, middle of this study session or whatever, but I won't be for at least 6 months, probably very consistent. So that's why David was saying that it's going to be like him and Matt spearheading the project. I'll also be a part of it. It's not like a separate project. It's just they're really.
It's an add-on, yeah.
It's an add-on, yes.
Because it can be, like Elsa said at the beginning, even these beginning chapters of just basic houses you could talk about for the rest of your life. There's no end to it.
Yeah.
So it's just extra time. It's on a higher tier. It's a little bit more money, but it's like there's going to be a more dedicated, focused group of students.
And speaking of money, we do have a $5 tier for those of you who think this sounds awesome, but you're broke, or you're going through any kind of financial strife, or you're having a currency exchange or anything like that. We wanted to try to make an affordable tier. You don't have to tell us what your financial situation is. You can just choose that option. Otherwise, there's a $15 entry. So like for the basic study group, it's $15. And you can select either one of those. And then we have, obviously other tiers and added bonuses and study sessions and VIP, like things like that. But if you want to know, like, what's the ground level? I mean, obviously we want to get you over there on Patreon to see how it's like set up or whatever. But just to, not limit the point too much, it's $5 if you need it, $15 a month if you are able to. And
want to support our work. Remember, we're doing this because we want to support our careers financially. So we are really offering this to people who want to have this experience and find this attractive, but really have no means to match the $15 tier because it is too high for them. As you said, for me, it is too high. Like $15 a month is actually what I pay on certain services online that we are using here, but they're not,
exactly
sponsoring us. So I'm not going to mention their name.
But we all do, there's so much that goes into it. So we're just, obviously wanting to start filtering people towards like supporting our work essentially.
Yeah. And I need to maintain that. So if you guys want to support me in that, and Elsa and Matt, please go for the $15 tier if you can make it.
Or more. We have like a VIP where we're going to do like drinks and stuff, and we have like some fun ones. So
there's some things that you should check out on Patreon for you, because it's going to be fun. You're going to like it. Just go over there.
Okay, well, thank you both again for being here. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. And we really do hope that slowly or right away, you're welcome to join us this week starting out, or you can slowly filter in, and we would love to have you. So.
And remember, since you're going down in this description to click on our Patreon link, you could also leave us a comment and give us a like and subscribe to our channel here in the Hellenistic channel provided by Elsa. That would help us a lot if you can't make it to Patreon, because it helps YouTube like us better. So
yeah, and speaking of which, we might be taking this, thanks for the plug, the Hellenistic Astrology channel, which is what we are doing here as a group together. But we also are probably going to post this on Matt's channel.
Sure.
And are you doing Twitter, or is it just the Astrologers Encyclopedia that it will be posted on?
Yeah, that's on YouTube. I'll post a link on Twitter.
Oh, I also have a Twitter account now. It's in the First Place Astro, at First Place Astro. So Elsa's going to put that new link in the description. I forgot to tell her, by the way. I think she doesn't. But I'm there.
Yeah. Okay, you're over on Twitter. Cool. And then you're in the First Place Astrology on YouTube, which you might end up seeing this content there. That's where you might be viewing from. So again, thanks all of you viewers from all the channels, and we hope to see you there.
Bye.
Matauka bersama you demikian soba da soba kena mataiban nakau di mawa demikian soba and soba ataiban nake aujuno